haven't really even decided what my NaNoWriMo challenge is going to be. Honestly, just getting in front of a piece of paper every day.
So many books to read, a whole life ahead of me.
Hey BookTube, what's up? My name's Alexis, and here we are again, back in my house, back in Texas. It's fun, it's great. It's winter here. I believe it's like 50 degrees outside, and it's Halloween. I'm filming right now because tomorrow is the start of NaNoWriMo. I don't have a desk chair. Like, I've been doing everything all month to get prepared for it, just mainly like thinking things on what I need to do to get prepared for it, not actually getting prepared for it, because if I was to actually get prepared for it, I would have bought a desk chair. But we're not perfect here. I'm not. You might be, but that is my task for today, to get a desk chair. I have an hour or so before I need to get ready to go to work, and I want to dress up for Halloween, but we'll see. And then I haven't really even decided what my NaNoWriMo challenge is going to be. Honestly, just getting in front of a piece of paper every day, because I'm not going to bother typing. I do my best writing when I write things out. That's what we're going to do. Hopefully when you see me next, it'll be me with a desk chair. And here we have another gardening video. The day that this was filmed, I had gone outside with the intention of transplanting some plants. I ended up transplanting purslane and pineapple, and then planting some succulents that I got from a coworker.
I just want Georgia to notice me. I just want Georgia to notice me. I just want Georgia. Georgia. See, you don't know it, but I'm afraid to tell you how I really feel, or show you what I really mean when I say hello. Oh, how I feel to watch you come and go. I just want Georgia to notice me. I just want Georgia to notice me. I just want Georgia to notice me. Georgia, I think if I got you alone, you could tell I'm being really sincere. I can't help the way that.
And then, of course, you gotta make sure you spray yourself down with bug spray, because it doesn't matter that it's practically winter, mosquitoes are still here. After I finished transplanting all of those plants, I went ahead and put up my hanging lantern. It took me a little bit of time to get this done. Also, before I go, something very exciting happened today. Well, I made it happen. I did something exciting today. I bought books. I bought 3 physical books. I don't really know how much I've talked about this on my channel, but I don't buy books. I've moved about 5 times in the last 5 years, so there's really been no reason for me to go out and like buy physical books, and I actually plan to move next year, so it's something like in my mind of like all the things I need to keep in my mind of anything that comes into my house has to be boxed up to move next year, so I have to be really diligent with any of my purchases, and buying books just isn't something. Buying physical books when I have like 3 Kindles, yes, I have 3 Kindles, there's reasons for that, I promise, but when you have 3 Kindles, why buy physical books when you can just read the ebooks? They're often cheaper anyway, and you know, if you want that book feel, you can just go to the library and get books from the library, and that's what I typically do. But these books, you'll know why I bought them when I show you what they are, because I've done nothing but talk about them for the last several videos, except for like the newbie challenge, because that one was filmed before I had finished said books, and I bought the whole series at once. I haven't done that. Honestly, I feel like the last time I just like bought a series at once was as books were coming out and as I finished them. I remember buying A Darker Shade of Magic one at a time when it came out. When the 3rd one came out, I had to buy the 3rd one, and then I went to see her at a signing, so I bought the other 2 and a couple of other, like it was just so many things. So many things. If that gives you any hint as to what book I just bought. And even though it was as simple as getting 2 screws in, I guess the wood that I was screwing it into was tougher than I thought, or, you know, I used the wrong drill bit first, and because it's always good to start with a smaller drill bit and then work your way up if you need a larger drill bit. You can see me use my hanging plant pot as a shelf for my nails while I'm trying to adjust the hanger. It's pretty fun. And of course, I've been doing yoga. I wanted to include that here, not to say that I'm good at doing yoga or that you should take any flow techniques from me, because I'm not great at doing yoga. During quarantine, it's been helping me find the balance I need when I can't go to the gym because the gym was closed. And I actually canceled my gym membership because I've been more empowered to do stuff myself at home that's, you know, with my own body weight or with simple weights that I already have. Today is November 1st, which means it's the first day of NaNoWriMo, which means I've got work to do. So before we get into the writing, which I don't know how much of that process I'm really going to film, because I don't know how much of that process I'm really going to do, because I've never really committed to NaNoWriMo before. But before we get into that, I've got two things I want to do. One, the grocery store had these today, and these are my favorite cookies, I want to say, of all time. When I was a little kid, I only ever got them because they were on base. They're seasonal, so they only come out during the winter. And it's typically around like the beginning of November, so today's November 1st. And November, December, they might have them through January, but they're like Girl Scout cookies for me. I used to love Girl Scout cookies growing up. Thin Mints were my jam, but now I'm just gonna buy like 10 boxes of these and hope it lasts through the year. It doesn't expire until March 21, so I mean, I'm sure if I freeze them, they'll be good. They're delicious. Why wouldn't they be good? And if you've never had these before, like, I'm pretty sure Nabisco is a company that's owned by Monsanto. I could be completely wrong. I might have to look that up and let you know. And for that, I typically don't like to buy Oreo cookies in general. I'll buy like Newman's Own or some of the like healthier versions, because I hate and supporting any company that is connected to Monsanto if I can avoid it. But these cookies, I don't know what it is about them. They're just white fudge covered Oreos, and they're amazing. If you pop them in the fridge for a few hours, let them get nice and cold, which is what I'm gonna do with the rest of these. It literally tastes like childhood. One of my earliest memories is playing the Elmo game on the 64 and pausing the game to go get one of these cookies because they're just so good. Like, I would pause the game and run to the kitchen, grab a cookie, and come back. They're definitely not good for you. But I'm ignoring the nutrition information because I don't want to deal with that right now. I just want to enjoy something that reminds me of my childhood. So I believe like a standard box of Oreo cookies is like $2.50 to $3.50 depending on which size you get and which flavor you get. But if you buy like the Newman's Own or the Back to Nature ones, I believe those are like $4. So from a price point, it makes sense to say I'm just not gonna buy the expensive one. But then you think about how often do you eat Oreo cookies? If you're like me, I could eat them every day. And I've had parts of my life where I did that. Not really healthy, don't recommend. But if they're a treat, an extra $1, if you're already spending $3 on something you don't need, an extra $1 shouldn't break you. You know, and I don't know like what everyone else's budget is and what everyone else's life is or what choices they have to make when they're buying their sweets. But if you can find a way to make that extra $1 appear, to spend it like on something that isn't supporting an evil corporation, I feel like that's better. Supporting real people versus supporting a company that's tearing families apart and destroying farming for a lot of people. It's really gross. But I don't want to focus on that. You know, if you came here, we talk about sustainability, so that's something that isn't sustainable, the whole company. At the beginning of this video, I said I had 2 things for you. One of them is I'm cutting my hair. No, we're not. We're not cutting this hair. The second thing is I got a package in the mail today. So excited. I bought something. And I know like pot kettle, right? Because I just talked about not supporting Monsanto because they're an evil corporation, and then here I am 2 seconds later with an Amazon box. And I don't know that, you know, that there's any way really to justify it, because it comes down to like making small decisions over time. The alternatives for buying this book it's not like a $1 difference for each of these books. It's like a $10 difference to buy it from your local publisher. And I would love to have the money to spend $10 extra per book at like the local bookstore near me. That's not an Amazon bookstore, that's like an actual bookstore from this city. But I love books so much, and I can't, like, if I had to do that, it'd be so hard for me to, you know, make it happen. As it is, this purchase was like $40 for 3 books, so that's already over $10 a book. Yeah, it would be $16, maybe like it'd be twice the price to get it from the local bookstore, because their price is typically the exact price on the back of the book. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Ooh. Oh my god, I'm gonna unbox them in order. If you can see, you can already tell what they are. It's the whole trilogy, yeah. I don't know when the last time was that I got this excited about owning a physical copy of a book, but this series, I don't buy books. I really don't buy books. Physical books. I buy all the Kindle deals that are like $1.99. You got me, Amazon. You got me. I'll buy those because I'm like, it's $1.99, why not? And then I do it and I'm like, but physical books I typically reserve for books that I have actually read and books that I know that I will enjoy, or, you know, like, I typically read them first, and then if I plan to reread them, I'll buy them. So, this series, you know that this is the series I'm going to turn into a mini-series on my channel because I just can't get enough of this series. Like, I 110% plan to reread this soon. This first one is A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. The second book is A Bad Deal for the Whole Galaxy, again by Alex White. And the third book is The Worst of All Possible Worlds. When I finish this book, if you have been on my channel for a second, you know that I just finished this book on the Kindle edition when I was in Michigan visiting my family. There are a few books that I would own the Kindle edition, the audiobook edition, and the physical edition. Like, very few books in existence. There's only one series of which I have that obsession for, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic. Now, I do plan in the future to do a video comparing those two series because they're nothing alike, and yet they have this similar resonance in me of like emotional ties. I don't know if it was every few years you get a change in your life and there's one book that connects you so deeply to that point in time and that change that you can't separate where you were at that time from your experience reading that book, or if it's just something else about the book, and I want to do like a video focusing on that. So, that's two things. So I actually lied because I have a third thing to show you before we get into writing. And that third thing is this chair. I have spent maybe the last week like going to Goodwill, like looking around for chairs because I had a piano bench for an office chair, but a piano bench doesn't have a back, so you can't like lean into it. I'll lean in. And you know, that kind of is a draw away for me because I'll be sitting at my desk for hours at a time when I was a college student, and it would just kill my back, and I'd always tell myself that, you know, the piano bench will help me work on my posture, and really it just allowed me to make an excuse to not study at my desk. It allowed me to just say, you know what, I just don't even want to deal with sitting on that. I'm going to drive somewhere at a cafe, sit down and study where I'm paying for coffee when I already have coffee and tea at home and Wi-Fi at home, everything I need. I just don't like my chair. When I moved into this new apartment, we use the piano bench, me and my roommate. My roommate has it in their room. I've let them, like, for the duration of our lease, like, use it because I don't really plan to use it again, and I also don't want to get rid of it. So, you know, it's theirs for the next few months. But that left me with a problem. I have a desk, all the things on my desk, and no chair. My solution to this? Buy a chair. Buy a chair. Like, just go buy a chair. And at first I was thinking I'm just gonna, like, I went to Goodwill a couple of times and I couldn't find a chair anywhere. I looked, like, I want to say at least 4 times that I had just gone to Goodwill. And of course I found everything else. Like, I found a stainless steel pot. I found great winter month sweaters. I found all this good stuff. By the way, it's November 1st and it's still 75 degrees. Okay, Google, what's the weather today? Okay, Google, what's the temperature?
Expect a high of 76 and a low of 46.
76 to 46. That's an average day in Texas, let's go. This is where law of attraction comes into play because I kept thinking, I want a desk chair, I want a desk chair, I want a desk chair, but I don't want to pay the price for a retailed one at like Office Depot or even like TJ Maxx Ross because those prices are kind of ridiculous. You know, there's all the hidden costs that go into it. You're paying for new materials, you're paying for the shipping, you're paying for all of these extra things just for it to be new. And I wanted it to come from Goodwill because it would be affordable and it'd be less harmful for the environment if it was something that was already here. I'm not paying into an industry to create new chairs when there's plenty of chairs not in use, you know? But lo and behold, literally today, the first day of NaNoWriMo, after weeks of thinking about wanting to find a comfortable office chair, I walked into Goodwill, my local Goodwill boutique, and I was just thinking it'd be nice to just walk in and find a chair. Sure enough, I walk in, go straight to the area where the furniture is at, and I found this beauty. You wouldn't believe it. Like, it was really affordable. It's still got a lot of cushion, and part of me is thinking that maybe some college student was moving out of this area and just like gave all their stuff to Goodwill, because there was a lot of other nice office things there. I got like a paper rack, like one of those racks that has different tiers for different paper, which totally gonna use for NaNoWriMo. I got a 3-ring hole punch, which also gonna use because I'm in love with binders. I just feel like binders are everything for me. Let's do a time lapse of me writing.
I thought I needed to run and find somebody to love, but all I needed was some coconut oil. Don't worry about the small things, I know I can do all things. Mama always told me it would be alright.
That's a lot of books. I was like mourning a good book. Which one are you mourning it?